like the last call, so come on up. Come on. Dr. Viner, I could tell he's still thinking about it. Dr. Patron wants to. Oh, Dr. Proctor and Dr. Patron. We should get him out. Go, Patron.
Well, of course, our students. So if you are a student who is here for signing day, could you just stand up? We want to applaud you all. Thank you. And we also have students joining us through YouTube and watching from afar. So thank you for being here, and let's give them a round of applause too.
So really important to the success of students and of course our future classrooms are our faculty at ENMU. So let me first introduce, if you don't know, this is Dr. Becky Davis. Dr. Davis is our assistant dean, also a special educator, speech pathologist, I can go on, and works mostly at the graduate level. So most of you probably won't have her until you move on to grad school. I'm Dr. Kathy Gutt. I'm the chair of the Ed Studies Department. I am in special education also, and I do teach undergraduates, so some of you may be in my classroom at some point in time. So I want to take the opportunity to introduce some other faculty that are here. So I think I saw everybody come in, so let me see if I get it right. So I'll start in the very back, Dr. Gould, who teaches in our reading program. Dr. Proctor, who is a graduate coordinator and teaches in bilingual. Dr. Patron, who wrangles sharks in the summer and teaches in our educational administration program. He really does wrangle sharks in the summer, so if you ever want to talk to him, that's what he does in the summer, he tags sharks. So he really is a fun guy to talk to. Dr. Vetterly, many of you know Dr. Vetterly. You're in the class. Also in our ed ad, I saw Miss Massey come in, right in the back. Massey. Over here, I have Dr. Viner. Many of you know him from technology. And the department chair. Did I miss anyone that snuck in?
Dr. Wagner.
Oh, Dr. Wagner's over there. Dr. Wagner. Yeah, many of you are Dr. Wagner students that are in this room right now. So she's getting ready to turn you over to the rest of us now. So to do that. And then I want to introduce another group of people. As you become teachers, you are going to learn there's two groups of people that you make your best friend. Anyone know who they are? Your custodians and the administrative assistants. Because without them on your side, it's going to be a long career, trust me. So our administrative team is here, most of them. Sarah comes out of the dean's office. Lachey works with Miss Lemke, comes out of teacher ed. My administrative assistant, Dolores, is here. Ebony's not officially an administrative assistant, but she keeps us straight as the coordinator of alt license in the back. Did I get, this is not here. So yeah, I'm not just like things that happen in my classroom. I always wanted to make sure the custodian was my best friend when I had to call for an emergency cleanup on, the reading aisle. So to do that.
And there seems like there's someone missing tonight. Who could that be? Well, it's our own dean. Dr. Lee Curran is on his way to Santa Fe to meet with the deans and directors, but he left a message for me to read to you. And this is one of his favorite days, so I had to keep telling him, you must leave, you must leave. You've got to go now. So he says, this is what he says. I wish that you all could know how much I wish that I were in attendance with all of y'all tonight. You are embarking on a wonderful journey in education and a life of service unmatched in any other career. You will literally become lifesavers as you improve lives, teach children, engage with families, engage in discovery, and quite literally save lives that might be lost without you. I applaud your decisions and efforts, and I look forward to interacting with you in the future, as well as witnessing your continued growth. It is a lifelong journey, so never stop. I offer you my congratulations and high fives from a distance. Enjoy the ride. Best wishes, Lee Curran, Dean, College of Education and Technology. So why are we here? What are we doing? We're officially celebrating your entry into the teacher education profession. We're going to talk a little bit about InTASC. You've heard about InTASC in your coursework. We'll talk about a little bit about the InTASC standards and the InTASC dispositions and what those mean to you as a future educator. Then we'll have a presentation of pins, and we'll ask you to sign our InTASC critical dispositions chart as a remembrance of your dedication to your profession. I always like to go back and look and see, because the people who've already signed, most of them have gone on into the field. So it's a good remembrance for us as well, and your name will be there too. Dr. Good and I often present together, and we almost have a, what would you call it?
I don't know, a lot of people think we're married when we go out together, but we've presented so many times. They're like, look at those two old women that are married. We kind of have a Mutt and Jeff routine almost, if you guys know who Mutt and Jeff is.
Maybe that's what you call it. Or at one time, I was Dr. Good's official interpreter. She would say something, and I would say what she meant to say was this. So that's kind of our format for tonight, if you'll just bear with us.
So what are the InTASC standards? And I have to tell you, every semester when I write my syllabi, I have to play with the InTASC standards. They're in our syllabi. They're on those pages 2, 3, and 4 that you flip by really quick to find the assignments and the due dates. So that's the pages there. InTask comes from the Interstate Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium. That's why we just say InTask, right? And it's the standards that teachers should know and be able to do so that all students are college ready or workplace ready when they leave your classroom, especially those in secondary, right, as you go out into the real world. There's 2 primary themes in InTask. One is on the learners, and the other is a collaboration between families, colleagues, and community. Because you will never, ever teach in isolation, ever. If you think you're a loner and you don't want to hang out with anybody and you don't want to do that, teaching may not be your field of study, because you do not teach alone. We do not do that. We are a massive group of people that hopefully are all moving towards the success of every student that we come in contact with.
So what are the InTask dispositions? We made a difference between the standard and the dispositions. Teacher dispositions are embedded within each InTask standard. They are the values, actions, attitudes, and beliefs of educators as they interact with students, families, community members, and colleagues. Dispositions are closely linked with success, both in the teacher education program and in the classrooms where you will one day serve.
So when you think about dispositions, you're going to come up, you're going to sign this that lists dispositions, and these are the dispositions that you say you will have not only as a professional, but as a pre-professional. You started your journey in 2116. This was your first field experience for many of you. I know some did them in 210. But for the first time, you stepped into the classroom. And I remind my students all the time when they come see me in SPED 320 and they step into the classroom again, as soon as you step into that classroom, you're on your job interview. People are already looking at you, especially today when people are bidding high for teachers right now. There's bidding wars going on for teachers that are graduating already in December. So what are those dispositions? They're the things that you say you are going to do, you are going to value, and you are going to demonstrate and model for your students as you're their teacher.
Our dispositions are grouped into 4 broad categories that are mutually supportive.
So we have learning development as we go through, learning difference, learning environment.
So think about what you learned about Howard Gardner. What did Howard Gardner teach us? Come on, somebody say multiple intelligences. Anyone? Multiple intelligences. And the Maslow hierarchy of needs. And with an admonition to care about the curriculum, but teach with your heart and care more about the students.
And you know about Maslow, right? That's what when you stop by McDonald's and get food and eat on the way to class so you won't be growling while Dr. Wagner's trying to teach. Yeah, that's why we do, right? School breakfast, school lunch. We have to meet those needs of our students to get them ready to learn. Content, knowledge, and application. This is your field, right? How many of you are secondary people here? Okay, so you know all about content because you're a little bit different, right? You major in your content, that's your specialty, and you minor in education. That's kind of how we see it. So knowing that content is important. You have to view yourself as a lifelong learner. Once in a while, when my husband and I go on vacation on the way home, he'll go, I cannot believe that we did not go to a national park, a museum, or a cemetery this whole vacation. Are you okay? Because those are usually the places I always hit because I'm a history person. So I like to do that. And you always should ask yourself, why do I need to know this and why do my students need to know this? If you can't answer the question on why you need to know it, you're certainly not going to convince them they need to know it. So you really need to have that down.
Then we have instructional practices, assessment, planning for instruction, and instructional strategies. This means know the strengths and challenges associated with your students. Be sure that you differentiate your instruction. Use a variety of instructional strategies and be alert to adjustments that need to be made.
We're at a time now that many of you may have been taught this way. I certainly was. Of course, I came through the disco era, so a little while ago. But right, where the professor or the instructor pulled out week 12 out of the file cabinet, the paper was all wrinkled, you read the chapter, you answered the questions in the back of the book. It doesn't work anymore like that. We have got to be manually and physically engaging students in what they're learning. And to be real honest, it's going to be more fun for you to do that. I told someone yesterday during the interviews that my master's gown has been used for more mock trials than I care to remember, because that's what the judge always wore, was a gown from my master's graduation.
The fourth and final broad category is professional responsibility. Professional learning and ethical practice, leadership and collaboration.
So understand that you are the model for ethical, professional, and lawful standards of practice. You are the model. That's really hard to remember. We're in a small community. Many of you are going to go to smaller communities. What does it say about you when you step out of your driveway, even if you're not going to school? What are you modeling? I always laugh when I would be at Walmart, back when there wasn't a Walmart here, we had to go to Clovis, and I'd run into some of my students when I taught in Clovis, and the first thing they do is look in my buggy. And they're like, oh, Miss Good, you eat hamburger? I mean, they just thought it was so bizarre. So watch what's in your buggy, because people are going to notice it and pay attention. So you have to have that. It's always important to remember you have to be a model, no matter where you are. You are a teacher.
And we hold ourselves to a higher standard.
I also have to tell you just a little thing. I was reading on the website the other day because I was looking something up for a presentation. I teach a law class. And if you go to the New Mexico regulations and code for teachers, they have a whole list of crimes that if you've committed those, you can't be a teacher. Okay, they're like 16 pages, but some of those are the most bizarre things ever. Like if you got caught cutting someone else's electrical fence, that will keep you from being a teacher. So, I mean, some of them are pretty obvious, but if you ever want to just read those, they're pretty interesting, because I had to start thinking, do I need to start checking, like how many of these may impact my license? So make sure that you know what the laws are.
Make continuous improvement towards your own personal goals. Collaborate with your teaching colleagues, and that will help you to move from the novice to the effective practitioner.
Yeah, always be willing to work with someone else. Remember that someone's going to help you, and you need to turn around and help someone else. I know a second-year teacher who is the lead teacher in her grade in the school, so she's teaching the brand new teacher and the long-term sub. She teaches math and they Zoom it into their classroom. So she's not only teaching the children, she's teaching the new teachers as well. And she's only a second-year teacher. So you never know when your craft is going to benefit someone else.
That's so very true.
Very true. I learn from Becky Davis all the time. It's amazing the things I've
The
learned.
presentation of pins and signing marks your acceptance into the teacher education program here at Eastern and the beginning of your professional journey. If you are here in the audience today, please come forward as we call your name. For those of you joining us via streaming, we want to acknowledge your presence and we'll announce your name too, and I think we should probably give them a hand as well. So here we go.
And Dr. Davis is reading names because Dr. Good is famous for butchering names. So it's like my skill.
We'll let them get their sign.
Get everything ready.
We just also wanted to mention that we just had the two most amazing days with the students and talking with them and hearing them speak about their goals. It was such a great experience.
I was telling Dr. Davis as people came in, oh, that's one of the ones I interviewed. I was telling you about her. I was telling you about him. Yeah, I always say I have to learn from my students. I hope they learn from me, but I certainly learn from them.
Are we ready?
I think so.
So our first person is Griffin Allman. Diane is joining us via streaming, so let's give her a round of applause. And we'll make sure that the people who are joining us online will receive their pins. And we also have a book.
I know, Griffin, we didn't
come
tell you
back.
that, so.
Come back, Griffin.
See, that's what happens when they put us in charge. So when you come up, when we ask our faculty at Eastern, one of the most important books a teacher can ever have the experience of working with, this is always the first book that they say. So we want all of you to have this for your professional book collection, and use it. It's amazing what's in there, just the quotes. I forgot about some of the quotes and I was flipping through it easy earlier. Some of the faculty have signed in the front to give you some messages of support. So make sure you grab your Harry Wong book when you come up.
Sarah, I apologize if I mispronounce your last name, but Sarah Buller.
Trying to get these out of the bag, so I'm sending them. I'll grab you a book. You can sign away. Sarah gives us girl power and ag. We like it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
She's coming. She's on her way, I promise.
She's coming.
I promise, we're not gonna keep her.
She really, really wants to. Joining us online are Kason Bowman and Faith Bryant. Alicia Caldera.
You have time to pick some of those up. Keep track of those pens because these are official education medallions, so you can wear them on your regalia when you graduate. You can't just put anything on your regalia. There are rules, but you can put academic pens on your regalia. Congratulations.
Cameron Campos.
Want to see anyone popping up?
All right. Joining us online, Aspen Castro. Oh, she's here.
Oh, she's here! Yay! Surprise appearance. Congratulations. And make sure you sign. So some of you in the audience may not realize when we're talking about people online and people whooping and hollering, our classes are done both in person, live, and then we send them out to what I call TV land. So even though these students may have never ever met the person in our teacher that's online, they have worked with them in groups, on projects, on things. So it's kind of one of those silver linings that COVID taught us, that we can do effective teaching through modalities. So.
Cayenne Coombs. I think Cayenne really is online. Also online, unless you're here, Ryan Corral,
Unless you're not.
Sharman Cowboy, Brianna Decker, Jessica DePorto. Madeline Ferguson.
Sign your name. I love it. This group is signing across the top. Set your expectations high. Maybe I got
Gallagher. Morgan Gallegos.
I think this semester in our 21-16 courses, we had 51 students, I think, in total, in class or out in TV land. Congratulations. 51 new teachers getting ready to enter the profession.
Okay, Kyle, come on down.
I was like the ringleader here.
Zachary Gill.
We already had someone in the audience who broke a leg on campus. He's not missing the tree back there. Get in here. That was pretty funny that I said that. Right over. See?
Most of you, it's okay.
Not really funny at the time, but.
Vivian Gomez Solis.
Love it. See there, one day you're gonna have a doctorate, because that's how you sign your name. That's why we like to grade on the computer, so you can read our comments.
Betty Gonzalez. Yesenia Grotto Salinas. These are our friends online, I believe. Victoria Guerra. Brianna Hickey. And hopefully we have Whitney Hogan here with us. Online, Jennifer Kennard and Savannah Kilness. Here with us, Iram Lujan. Okay. Mia Amada Maestas, also online. Casey Mariscal. Casey Mariscal. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll give her another round.
Bring another round of applause.
My favorite, my favorite. Joshua Martin.
He may be at practice, I didn't see him.
Probably so. And online, Megan Massey, Brittany Millsap, Nancy Nelson, Maria Ramirez. And hopefully here with us, Perla Ramirez Palaya. Online with us tonight, Leandra Ray. Alexis Romero. Melissa Rubio. Is Melissa? I don't see. Fernando Rubio. Cecilia Science. With us online, Aisa Salfran. Billy Stremmel. online, Renata Valerio. Callie Walker. And online, Naomi Zuniga. Now I always have to ask, did we omit anyone's name from the list?
There's some student teachers who didn't get to go to sign it last time.
Oh,
Oh, our
Okay.
student teachers who wanted to come up and sign.
oh,
Come on
okay,
and do
come
that
on up.
now.
You'll have to.
Anyone else we omitted? Anyone else who wants to speak? So as we come to the end, I would like our faculty to please stand again and remain standing. We as a faculty are pledging to stand behind you as you come into this wonderful profession, to be here for you in the good times and maybe not so good times, and to support you through the completion of your degree. Thank you all for being here tonight. We'll have picture booth outside. We have some cake and other refreshments. So once again, Dr. Good, thank you.
Thank you, and I just want to say, you can tell you're all going to be